Man, guys, I've been so busy here lately. I kind of got a job, although I'm not being paid. I'm helping a friend tear up a building. Not tear it down, but we're tearing out all the walls and whatnot, and he's going to, actually we're going to be basically restoring it. It's an old 1902 building called the Red Rooster Inn, and it's been run down really bad, and he is going to fully restore it and just start fresh. And I think that's a great idea. Thankfully, a lot of it predates asbestos, so it's relatively safe to work with. But there is a good chance there probably is asbestos in there, but, well, whatever. When I blow my nose, there's a bunch of black gunk that comes out. That kind of happens whenever you're doing demolition. A couple days ago, I had some fun tearing apart the boiler, and I really wish I would have gone yesterday, because evidently yesterday is whenever, because I didn't go yesterday. I figure if I'm not being paid, then I'm not going to go every day. But yesterday, evidently the scrappers took apart the boiler, and the giant boiler, it's a newer boiler, it all unbolts into blocks. Like the actual boiler frame, you remove the shell, remove the insulation, and then you unbolt the sections of the boiler, so the boiler can actually be carried into a building or carried out of a building in pieces. That's ingenious, because the older built boilers from like the 1950s or earlier, those ones were just the huge riveted piece of metal that they had to like cut a hole in the building, or most of the time they built the building around the boiler. Well, I was too late to get too much stuff off the boiler, like some of the last stuff, but I got all of the technical stuff. I got all the sensors, I got all the pressure gauges, I got all of that stuff, and I got this. This is a sight glass. I just cleaned it up, and oddly enough, the rust actually has disintegrated the glass. It's weird. So I don't think this boiler, oh man, my voice is really like crackly and hoarse. I'm not sure if I sound right, but no water. So this was up to here, because basically how this works is you have this going into the boiler, and you have this going into the boiler, and wherever the water level is, you can see where the water level is, so you can know how full the water is, how full the boiler is. Well, this was caked with rust, and normally boilers will get like a little bit of sludge in here, like dirt, but this was actually caked. I had to snap the rust out of it, and as you can see, it's actually, like up here where there wasn't much, it's perfectly fine, but down here it's actually eroded the inside of the glass. It is so weird. I do not know what's going on. Needless to say, I'll probably replace the glass if I'm ever going to use this. But I'm wanting to make a small boiler, which now I have a lot of things. Like I have a pressure sensor that you can set the pressure, and it'll trip electrical thing. So that's actually pretty handy. That's pretty modern. A lot of the stuff's like, I think this thing was like from the 1990s, but because I didn't do any maintenance, it fell apart. Like some of the copper pipes just had big rust holes in them, and it's like, you guys didn't think to fix this? The place was really run down, and when you look inside the boiler, there was just so much sludge, which a boiler that new, they shouldn't have that. They should have done maintenance, but they didn't, obviously. I'm gonna look for a piece of gas pipe, like from like an oil line or something like that. 1 foot pipe, nice thick outer wall, or bigger. Get a section like that long or so, and that'll make a really nice boiler. I can have this on the side and whatnot. It'll be like a couple gallon boiler. But this will be really nice, and it'll basically be like that boiler, but it'll be really shrunken down, so we can have like all the stuff around it, and so it'll be a nice little manageable test boiler for running little steam engines and whatnot. It'll still weigh a couple £100, but you'll be able to move it, like put it on a cart and you can move it, whereas that one weighed like 1,000 pounds, so I do not want that. And yeah, so I have a bunch of the stuff from the boiler now, and it was worth it to rip all this stuff off, because this thing would cost like $100, and I got it for like a half hour of work. It was awesome. Today I was working on helping them tear up some of the walls, and that was pretty fun. I realized that the dumpster was full of old 2x4s, and so I saved a bunch of them because those old 2x4s from around 1905 or so, because that was from one of the editions. Those old 2x4s from around 1905 or so are actually pretty unique, and I think they might even be, what's that called, heart pine or whatever. It's the type of, it smells more like cedar actually, so it might be cedar. But the wood is really dense and it's hard, and it's they don't make it like that anymore. And I think the sizes, well, you know how newer 2x4s, they have like a curved edge, or this one is just straight. It's like a straight rectangle. Well, I jumped into the dumpster before we started really throwing stuff in, and I got some 2x4s out, and I also got a bag full of knob insulators. So a lot of old buildings, especially old ones like that, use knob and tube wiring. So what they would do is you would have your two wires, positive and negative, or, well, live and ground from electrical, like AC. You put them through there, and then you would nail it into there, and that would hold it down. It was a really nice little inexpensive way to mount wires. Unfortunately, the main issue with this is that it doesn't have the wires twisted around each other. If you notice, a lot of wires these days have the wires twisted around each other, because that makes the radio interference cancel each other out. If you just have the wires, like sometimes with these old buildings, they would run them like a foot or more apart, like down, and that would cause a lot of issues where they would both be emitting a bunch of radio waves, and so like a lot of old houses, you can't have as much of like you can't have like Wi-Fi in some of them because they just have so much interference from the electrical system. But if they were newer and they had like the wires closer or wrapped around each other, then they would cancel each other out. So that's kind of cool. But I figure no sense in having these going into the trash, and it would be nice if I have to, like if I don't have anything to do with to do with these, then I can just take these and put them in the thrift shop for like $1 or $2 a piece. Got 10 of them, and that might be $10 or $20. So that's cool. I mean, I figure since I'm not being paid, at least, well, I'm writing down my hours just in case, but I figure it's a good chance just to I don't have to work very hard. Although I want to work a little hard, just in case, like, later on I can be like, hey, maybe I can get a little paid. You know, like, if the place gets profitable. But, so I'm saving the hours. But I'm going to make a point to keep as much stuff as I can that I can make a little bit of money off of, because that's pretty good. But, my friend gave me, and all the workers that worked with him, gave me full reign with, my camera, so, like, they don't mind me recording, like, really up close with stuff, so it's like, it's actually pretty cool. So, I mean, if I was being paid, then it would probably turn into an unfun job. But maybe by me not being paid, it actually gives me a chance to just like, because sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to spend 30 minutes getting insulators out of the dumpster. I don't feel like having to mess with all this asbestos, most likely asbestos. So yeah, that works out pretty well. And then I can also, like, I can focus more on the videos, and I'm making a lot of videos. Today I filmed 3 videos. Last night I filmed, well, it could be a full video, but it's probably just going to be half a video. It was the video of me cleaning this up, but I'm probably going to get my wire brush out and really clean this up and make this really shine. I don't know though, it's really crappy. It might be good just to leave it like it is, and that way I don't have to worry too much about like having it outside or whatever. Yeah, that might be a better idea. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.